Cyber firm warns that hackers are teaming up with crime rings to hijack cargo, phishing emails, and social engineering deployed to steal physical shipments. So, exactly in line with what I was talking about earlier with these cybersecurity issues leading to people taking over, taking over shipments essentially. We have nerds in their parents' basements pretty much just calling up their local organized crime unit and saying, "Hey, man, how would you how would you feel about taking over a few shipments and um, getting some physical cargo? Getting access to some physical cargo." And the cybercrime, the nerds or whatever are like rubbing their hands together, all gleefully happy about all the plushies that they're gonna get and their Pokemon cards, and the gang, sitting down at the bottom of an Italian restaurant, being like, "Man, this on my daughter's birthday, bippity boppity, hey." Getting calls from these nerds. I want to picture the phone call that happens between these two groups. I really want to know what the phone call is like. I would love to be a fly on the wall for this. When you have the cybercrime nerds who are like all nerdy and geeky, and they're like, they somehow get the number of the local cybercrime or cyber or no, sorry, gang, their whatever their organized crime gang is. And this heavy set guy walks over and he's like sweating. He just finished eating like a whole bowl of spaghetti. So he's got like the spaghetti sweats, and he walks over and he picks up the phone. Right. It's an old school phone. We got to do the old school phones, like bring, bring, picks it up. And he's like, "Yeah, what's up?" And you just hear this nerd, and it's like, this is your local cybercrime nerd. I have a sweet deal for you. I can absolutely ensure that you get to take over cargo mid shipment, and in exchange, all I ask is for a cut. I'm taking out my calculator, and I think that if we split the cut by approximately 70% for me and 30% for you, I think we could do really, really well. And the the crime boss is like, "Hey, this on my daughter's birthday." I don't know. I want to know what the call is like. But essentially, getting back to the real story here, they're teaming up together. This isn't the first time that I've covered this. Cybercrime units are indeed hiring physical crime gangs to do things like threaten other people and steal shipments like this. So the cybercrime, people, I guess, whoever they are, will get access to stuff like we talked about, up here. They get access to these systems. They know when the shipment's going to get sent out. They call up their local organized crime unit, which you can find in the yellow pages. And then they say, "Hey, I've got this shipment that's coming out. Why don't you take it over and we'll split the cost," right? The other article that I covered a few weeks ago, maybe it's a few months ago now, was cybercrime actors who were able to hire gangs, local gangs, to go physically threaten other people. So they would do this. They would get access to information that's like publicly available, because cybersecurity is a joke with the tech industry. And then they'll say, "Hey, there's a dude who lives wherever at this address, and we know he's got like a crypto wallet or something like that. And I'll tell you what, we'll pay you, us, the cybercrime, the nerds, will pay you a portion of the funds you get out of going down there and physically threatening this person, You can go beat them up, you can go kidnap them, you can go torture them, you can go do whatever you need to do. We know that this information is true. Go down there and act out, like physical harm. Or they might do some light threatening where they will ask these groups of, actual people on the ground to kind of like walk up to someone and say like, "Hey, I know you have, I don't know, whatever, like a crypto wallet, or I know you've been looking at, I don't know, smut on your browser history. It sure would be a shame if that got out." And so the nerds don't even have to get out of their parents' basements. At this point, all the nerds have to do is just hire the actual gang to go down and make physical threats. And in some cases, I also covered this as well. I recently just released a few videos on this. In France, in particular, there was one person who was actually tortured. Several actually have been tortured, but one person was tortured to the point where he lost his pinky finger as a small group of people were attempting to get access to his crypto wallet. Yeah, yeah. So this stuff happens way too often, and I don't know. It's like the numbers continue to go up. There are some numbers in here, but they're only based around cargo theft. But even these numbers are pretty insane. Cargo theft in the US jumped by 27% in 2024 and is projected to rise another 22% in 2025, which estimates total annual losses at $35 billion. That's insane. That's annually. That's per year. These guys are making and that's just cargo theft. We're not talking about all the other kinds of thefts you could do, because we talked about how SIM cards were being swapped. AT&T, somebody bought out somebody at AT&T at one of the AT&T shops, I guess, and they were swapping out SIM cards. Then they were using those SIM cards to track FedEx shipments so that they could grab FedEx shipments before they reached your door. Like, we're talking about some extremely sophisticated stuff going on here. I'm in the wrong business. $35 billion.